A missed deadline, a frustrated client, a lucrative, high-stakes contract in Rhode Island hanging by a thread. In a crisis like this, the default corporate reaction is speed. You panic, open your laptop, and draft a stiff, heavily edited, defensive email to stop the bleeding. But business relationships rarely shatter overnight. The cracks appear long before the break. Expectations slowly shift, follow-ups get missed. A misunderstanding calcifies into real frustration. Firing a polished, rapid-fire email into that existing tension doesn't fix the problem. It usually proves to the client that they're being treated as a generic support ticket rather than a human being. You cannot fight a slow-burning fracture with a fast, defensive digital response. That Rhode Island vendor decided to skip the email entirely. Instead, a simple, heartfelt, physical apology card arrived in the client's mailbox. In a hyper-digital, automated age, an analog gesture acts as a calculated circuit breaker. It forces a complete reset of the conversation. This approach yields a clear, three-part return on investment. It saves the contract, it saves the trust, and as we'll see, it even saves you time. The physical mailbox is one of the last remaining interrupters to our daily digital noise. When a client holds an actual object in their hands, they are forced to slow down. Subconsciously, that tangible weight registers as intentional effort from the sender. This diagram illustrates the escalating cycle of digital frustration. Tactile empathy introduces a physical barrier that intersects that cycle, moving the client's defensive posture into a state of pause. Creating that momentary pause provides the necessary breathing room to prevent a contract from walking out the door while emotions are still high. You can't physically hand a client an email. Occupying physical space is the first step towards changing the tone of the conversation. But a physical medium is useless if you fill it with polished corporate jargon. To rebuild trust, you have to own the misstep. That means stripping away all defensive posturing and approaching the mistake with humility. A highly effective reset message looks exactly like this note. You acknowledge what happened, express appreciation, and share a clear path forward. Thank you for your patience. You matter to me, and I want to make this right. This specific phrasing works because it proves to the client that you value the human relationship more than the transactional mistake. Broken trust can only regrow in an environment of unpolished human sincerity. The intellectual pushback here is obvious. Sourcing, writing, and mailing physical cards during a fast-moving crisis feels too slow and logistically heavy for most professionals. The mechanical solution to that problem is a platform called SendOutCards. This flowchart maps out how the system compresses time. You type a note and add a photo digitally. The system translates that input into physical output, handling printing, stamping, and mailing. This removes operational friction while preserving the emotional effort for the receiver. Repairing a connection is about finding a way to deliver a meaningful message without letting the logistics slow you down. Returning to the Rhode Island vendor, the result was clear. The client stayed, trust returned, and that initial conflict eventually led to a much deeper sense of loyalty. Every business hits a rough patch. Small operational mistakes and missed deadlines are part of the landscape. A professional reputation depends on how you navigate those failures with acknowledgement and gratitude. You don't need a massive corporate strategy to save a connection. Most of the time, you just need a simple, well-timed human moment of tangible effort. If you have a strained relationship that needs a reset, visit sendoutcards.com/thatcardguy to send a heartfelt card today. Your next loyal client is waiting on that one small gesture.